Peace, everyone. How you doing? Welcome to the show. And today's show title is How Prominent Zulu Members Turned Our Community into a Cult. What community? The hip hop community. I'm a hip hop. The evidence people ignore. Now, when I say prominent Zulu members, we're going to name the members. We're going to name them. Some names y'all probably be like, I didn't know they were Zulu. But they are Zulu, whether if you do it or not, because they've been playing with the Zulus. Now, here go our first information.
Mr. Armani, when K Slade told you this, did he say, hey, this is off the record?
No, that's the interesting thing. I got off the phone. I assumed it was off the record because it's such a fire kid, or whatever you want to call it. But no, he never said, this is off the record. That he never said anything. And in fact, he knew I was a writer and a blogger. So I was thinking maybe he doesn't want to tell me to put it out there, but he wants me to put it out there. But because he didn't say yay or nay, I never spoke on it from 2007 until 2013, was almost 6 years later.
So this is 2007 and 2016, in which DJ K Slade had told Khalil Money that Africa Bambaataa was sexing Moors. It's more into the conversation, though. Let's listen for the more.
Never spoke on it. I held it.
And what about K Slade today? Does he confirm this conversation or does he deny?
Well, you're actually basically getting the exclusive on who said what, because in every other interview I've pretty much given, I never even said where my sources came from. Even in the Dave Wedge article, I simply say my New York sources.
See, I didn't play audio when he said his New York sources, but his New York sources was DJ K Slade. He's only saying that because I put the information out there. I forced everything out of all the lying individuals that's a part of the Zulu Nation. And if you ask me, Khalil Money has joined the Zulu Nation directly. I won't say directly, but indirectly by joining forces with Troy Star Terrain, Layla Wheels, and other Zulu members. He has become a member. But let's keep listening.
In just K Slade, I actually had intel from Zulu Nation Insider that reached out to me on Twitter and then asked to speak to me over the phone, and then they confirmed what had happened to Africa Bambaataa on April 1st being stabbed. So it wasn't just K Slade. I just had K Slade when I heard about the stabbing of Africa Bambaataa and what it was about. It confirmed what he had told me 5 years previous. I'm like, whoa, because I really wasn't sure if I believed K Slade.
So you heard 5 years prior to the stabbing, K Slade already told him that Bambaataa loves sexing young boys. And the terminology for that is a pederast. And when he wrote his article, he didn't write about a pederast. He wrote about a gay man raping a boy. A gay man raping a boy. Remember, he is an advocate for the LGBTQIA plus community. Figure what an advocate is saying when he say that a gay man raped a young boy. LGBTQIA plus community, y'all have nothing to say.
I had no reason not to believe him because he's a New Yorker. I did know that he was a member of the Zulu and the Black Spade, so why would he make up a lie on Bambaataa like that? But it was just such a hard thing for me to even comprehend. But it confirmed what I kind of believed about, if you know about hip hop or rap music, kind of rolling off the backs of the whole disco era. And we know the disco era was basically a movement that started by gay people. The costumes, the dress, gays were heavily influenced. So when you look at the early pioneers of hip hop and rap, Africa Bambaataa, Grandmaster Flash, and the Furious Five, you look at their costumes, their dress, You put them right next to the village people, and you can't tell who's who as far as who's gay, who's straight, because they all have these costumes, these really outlandish costumes, straight out of the disco era, and that was their, when you look at early hip hop, that's what you see, all these elaborate costumes.
Yeah, absolutely. But back to K. Slade. Now, this is the first time you said publicly that K. Slade was the source of this information.
Yeah, this is it.
And have you talked to?
That's not the first time he told me before he told Ed Opperman. I'm the one that got him the interview with Ed Opperman. But since Ed Opperman is a little bit bigger than me, he's saying that's the first time he ever told it. But he's only telling it because I told it before he told it. Because he told me first. That's why he's been stalking me for 8 years. Because he know I have the information.
Since 2007 or 2007 until today, have you talked to K. Slade again?
I've talked to K. Slade 100 times since then. I still write for his magazine.
Okay. And does he know that you're releasing his name today?
I haven't a clue. The reason.
So you see Ed Opperman, you're telling on K. Slade? Why are you telling on K. Slade? Why are you putting his name out there? Well, Carl already been putting it out there and pressuring me to say what I gotta say, because Carl know and don't nobody else know what's been going on. He's the gatekeeper. He's the one with all the information because he's been here since the beginning.
I'll tell you why I'm saying his name today. It's because his name has been brought into the story via YouTube anyway.
His name has been brought in the story by Carl Albert Davis. He don't want to tell the history because he's trying to keep me out of the story. I'm not a part of the story if you ask them. Let them tell it. I'm not a part of it. But the story has been going on because of my participation. I force BANs to speak and say what they have to say.
And his name has been brought in to the story. You know the guy we talked about named Hassan Poppy Campbell?
Yes.
That we talked about earlier. Well, he did a blog on me maybe a month ago asking the question to DJ K. Slade. Does DJ K. Slade know he's running with the snitch?
Oh, because they're calling you a snitch because of the Yahweh Ben Yahweh thing?
Exactly.
Now, you see that? Hassan Campbell says that because Hassan Campbell heard me say DJ K. Slade is running with Khalil Money. Once you put 1 and 2 together, you know the whole story. I forced all of this.
Yeah.
I'm a criminal defense investigator, okay?
Now, Ed Opperman is a criminal investigator. He heard everything that was said. You think he done went to the feds or anybody with this information? He took this video off of his YouTube. But I got the video and asked him, could I use the video? So therefore, I have the audio and the footage.
Like snitches either, but in a situation like that where you're in the middle of a cult and they're cutting people's heads off, my God, give me a break. The code of silence has its limits.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You got to murder cult that they're cutting heads off.
There's a street code, right? There's a street code, and this is not that.
Right.
But to a guy like Poppy, who considers himself a street guy, just the fact that I have admitted, I have written about it, I've been on national TV, I've written books about it, other books have been written about me and my life in the cult and the Witness Protection Program and being a government informant.
See, Ed Opperman will not call me today and interview me because, see, if he would have interviewed me after Khalil Money, I'd have told him Khalil Money was selling drugs, being a mule, and he robbed people, armed robbery, which has a statute of limitation. And armed violent robbery, statute of limitation ain't tomorrow. It's a long statute.
Because of that, he's taken that and went on YouTube and said that basically I'm a snitch and asked K. Slade. He doesn't call K. Slade personally and say, hey, you know that guy killed Little Money that writes for your magazine? Do you know he worked with the government? He doesn't do that. He puts it out for the world. And of course, within days, I get a call from DJ K. Slade going, ho, what's going on? what's this I'm hearing? Now, they asked the question, does K-Slade, did he know my backstory? Yes, he knew my backstory. But when you know someone's backstory, you know that this was not a case of someone in the street snitching to save myself,
Right.
you know, all that street stuff. This was a cult, like you said, that was cutting people's heads off. and the guy was a pedophile. You know, I did a righteous thing.
Yeah, right.
Going to the government.
And I would have to weigh in on that. Yeah, come on. You know.
Yeah.
All right.
That's what he did. So Poppy puts this out. So yeah, I'm always in contact with K-Slade. But like I said, recently he reached out to me, and I actually made a retort video to Poppy, basically saying that me and DJ K-Slade's so-called relationship is basically business. I write for him when he needs articles. Yeah, he calls me or texts me and says, "Hey, I need a new article," and that's basically the extent of our relationship. It's not like because Poppy was trying to make it like we run together, you know, and because K-Slade has street cred and he has industry cred. And so Poppy basically just took a big old dump on K-Slade. So I don't know how that's going to work out when those two gentlemen see each other because they live in the same city. So
okay,
that's that.
And also too, it's not like you'll consider like a civilian. You're not mingling with people that are in organized crime.
So now you see, Poppy and K-Slade had issues before K-Slade died. That's why he brought out the fact that K-Slade killed some people that he ratted on. All due to me. All due to me. All these things are happening because my hand is in the cookie jar also. But don't nobody want to mention me and mention my hand is in the cookie jar. They're afraid of me.
They're doing activities that need to be worried about snitches. Am I correct?
Exactly. Exactly. I'm a civilian. I'm not bound by the street code. I've always been a civilian.
Yeah.
I've never been a gangbanger, a street dude, none of that. Now, here's the ironic twist. Poppy just called the FBI, just called the police, New York police, live on YouTube because he also received the video of the young girl being molested by the man. So he did a video and went live and called the police, and we saw the police come through his door, and he talked to the police and he turned the camera off, but he wanted us.
See, all this was a setup because of me. Poppy called the police. He talked to the police and do all of that. I received the same video. I don't call the police. But I do put it up on the internet because I love putting things up on the internet and letting people know. So when I put it up on the internet, Michael Edwards, the RBG Hebrew, Deborah, and some old woman from New York, they started calling the police in Arkansas, telling them I got child porn. The police come to my house. They don't convict me of having child porn because somebody sent it to me. I just didn't know how to delete it. We got it off the phone and it was over with. But these are 3 or 4 states in which this child porn and this conversation has went wacko. It went crazy.
See that he was calling the police to, in street terms, snitch.
Cop caller.
Yeah.
That's the definition of cop calling. You're on the phone with the cops. Well, let me ask you this now, because we talked about that off the air, about that Israel Doctrine received a video of child pornography. And
see there? He mentioned in Israel Doctrine because he knows a European man by the name of Ed Opperman knows what happened. Let's see what Khalil Money said.
Someone called the police on him? Give us the background of what's going on with that.
Well, after it started with Poppy. Poppy's the first one to put the video out and did the whole, I'm going to call the police on YouTube live on air so y'all can see that I'm reporting this video. Okay, right after that, Israel Doctrine, he did a video talking about Poppy's video calling the police. And then in his video, he said that he also received the same video. The difference is Poppy readily admits that he opened the video up and watched it. I think he said he watched it several times. There's even video of him describing the sex act. Poppy described the sex act to his listeners, to his viewers. Contrary to that, Israel Doctrine gets the same video, and he sees the thumbnail showing that I guess it's a sexual thumbnail, and he knows that this is pedophilia stuff, and he says he does not open it, and he says it's already been. In his mind, he rationalizes that it's already been reported because Poppy reported it to the police, so there's no need for him to report it. It's being reported. Somebody watches Israel Doctrine's video and says and decides. I think it was more than one person that decided they are going to call the cops in his state, in his city, to say that he has the video. And so he does a video showing us that the police come to his house. And there's a video out there where it's not the police, the sheriffs, they come to Israel Doctrine's house, and you hear him talking to the police, the sheriffs, and telling them, yeah, well, and he explains this whole thing, why that someone's calling on him because it's his enemy and they're probably out of New York. He doesn't say who it is because he doesn't really know, but we suspect who it could be. So that was that. Nothing ever came of it. You know, they left and basically it was clear there was nothing to it. And as Israel Doctrine has said, he didn't even open the video up. You can't help who sends you stuff. It's when you open it up and look at it and then you send it. That's when it becomes the problem. And Israel Doctrine did not violate. He did not open it up, and he did not send it. So
it's kind of ironic too that in the current situation, all these other guys are calling the cops, and you're not. They complain about you, and they're all picking up the phone. Okay,
yeah, and isn't that ironic? And that's the quick story.
It's not lost on me. Trust me. Now, what about the Zulu Nation? Have they contacted you and confronted you, threatened you? What's going on with that?
Okay, so now going back to 2013, let's deal with this. So I had already had intel that Africa Bambaataa from 2007 was gay and was a pedophile, basically. I had that intel. So on April 1st.
You see, he's saying he's a pedophile now. When he wrote that article, he said, oh, I could write that he was gay. I couldn't write that he was a pederast or a pedophile. But you hear them now say it, aren't you?
2013, the stabbing goes down. I get a call from DJ K. Slay about midnight. I normally don't even answer my phone, but when I see it's K. Slay, I pick it up because I know it's something. And so I picked it up, and he began to tell me the story that Africa Bambaataa had just got stabbed and told me why he got stabbed. He was date raped. Gave some guy a date rape drug, and the guy stabbed him. That's the story that DJ K. Slay relayed to me. Within the same week, I got a Twitter email from a Zulu official who also confirmed this incident. Now, April 1st this happened. April 2nd, which was that morning, I got up that morning. I was off from work or whatever, and I wrote an article. And the article is still on my site. I wrote an article called Africa Bambaataa, Gay and Date Raping? ? That was on April 2nd, 2013. Within days of that article being published, which was the first, DJ K. Slay called me within a week and said, hey, I've been contacted by the Zulu Nation because they realize that you write for my magazine and they are telling you to ask me to take it down or suffer dire consequences. Basically, they were going to put hands on me. They were going to hit me, kill me, do something to me. So K. Slay said, yeah, you probably should take it down because, they really about that life.
So you see there, the Zulu Nation had already threatened him. I told him on Facebook, go talk to the FBI. He said he's not going to talk to the FBI unless the Zulu Nation threatens him. Did you not just hear the threat? K. Slay called with the threat because the threat was made to K. Slay about the guy that writes for his article, which is a government informant. All of this stuff is coming out because of me.
So I took it down, maybe April 4th or 5th, something like that. I took it down. But then I realized that the article, even though, once you put something on the internet, it takes flight, it takes wings. I realized that allhiphop.com and some other sites had already picked it up and was flying with my article. And I was like, so I told myself, well, I'm just going to put it back up. And I put it back up. And that date is the timestamp that you see now. If you go to my site, it's April 17th, 19th, April 19th. Yeah, it's April 17th, 2013. That's the second publishing of the article that's on there now. And I let it stay up. And, you know, I didn't hear any more from Case Lay about it. And from there, it took wings. I sent it to a guy named Star, who I talked about earlier, who was a YouTuber, famous YouTuber. I sent it to him on April the 13th. I still have the emails that I sent it to him because if you're following the story right now, there's a whole rift about who did what first. And the only reason I really care about it is because Israel Doctrine, in his research in the African Bible story, brought me into the narrative and basically said to Star and to Poppy and to those people, hey, this guy here, Khalil Amani, is actually the first one to put this, you know, in the media, not Star. And so me and Star have had a little back and forth about it, but, you know, it's all based on Israel Doctrine's narrative that Khalil Amani is actually the first media person to write about said story. And that is...
It's all due to who and who narrative? It's all because Star and her son and Layla Wills and all them hip hoppers that stand with survivors fuck with me. They started some shit with me and thought I was a bitch ass nigga that's quick to bag down. And I've been standing up hard against them for 10 years because I ain't quick to bag down.
And so it's been out there since then, April 17, 2013. And that's the narrative. That's how I come into it.
Now, isn't there a story too that someone in the leadership of the Zulu Nation is also involved with NAMBLA?
Well, I'll tell you how that goes.
And you know what? Can you give me like another half hour after the break? Because we got like 10 minutes left.
Sure.
Okay, great. We'll do it. So you take your time, okay?
Okay.
So we're not taking a break now, though. I'm just saying that the story about the leadership being involved with NAMBLA.
It goes like this. I know there's another researcher that tried to make that connection, but he was a little bit off, and I'm the one that really kind of straightened it out. Basically, there is a NAMBLA connection, and that connection is NAMBLA is the North American Man-Boy Love Association that's been out since like 79. They've yet to enact any laws to make man-boy love legal, but they are trying to, of course. So Poppy, this guy, Hassan Poppy Campbell, who was a victim of African American molestation, he's got a bad thing against gay people. I guess because Bambaataa is a man and Bambaataa molested him. So he started trying to say that homosexuality leads to pedophilia, which leads to bestiality. And now here I am as someone who was supporting Poppy, but then at the same time, understand that I am gay hip hop's straight advocate for gay hip hop and by extension, gay people. And I've been doing this since 2007. So here he is telling the world that homosexuality leads to pedophilia, which it doesn't. And there's no empirical scientific evidence to suggest such. And so I began writing articles about basically saying, you're wrong, guy, you're wrong, dude, you're wrong. And so he began to talk about NAMBLA. He brings NAMBLA into the equation, which is NAMBLA is basically defunct right now in 2018. But he brings it in there, and in true demagogic fashion, he tries to tell his audience that this group is, they're on the horizons, and they're about to make it legal for men and boys to have sex, which is it's just not true. That's what they want to do, but they've been trying for 40 years. So anyway, I began to look into the whole NAMBLA thing, and lo and behold, one of the most prolific writers of NAMBLA and he's a writer. He's written many things. He's a philosopher.
Right.
His name is Peter Lamborn. That's his government name. But he became not a Zulu, he became a Moorish science. He became a Moorish science student as a young man, and he goes by the name of Hakim Bey. Now, there is a Hakim Bey who is a big Moorish science leader, a black man. But this Hakim Bey is an older white gentleman who is a writer, who was a writer for NAMBLA, who is a Moor, and the connection is that the Zulu nation are Moors. They are Kemetic Moors. They believe in.
So I didn't run across the part that I wanted to play where he said DJ K. Slade said he used to go get young boys for Africa Bambaataa to have sex with. He says that in his same interview, but I didn't have it pulled up exact. So we're gonna go to other audio. I'll bring that up and I'll put it on the YouTube short. I got videos out there with that there and stuff. But now we finna hear from Pop.
That Latino brother, my prayers go out to him. I don't know what's going on with him right now, but my prayers go out to him. He was the last one that we know about the day that Africa Bambaataa got stabbed. No alleged, I was at the hospital. No alleged, I seen the picture of the boy. No alleged, I was asked to execute that boy. So he wouldn't spread his story.
So as you can see, he was asked to murder the boy so the boy would not come in public and tell his story. Now, him and Ron Savage, from my opinion, came out because the boy was incapable of coming out and telling his story. Meaning, what they asked her son Camel to do, her son Camel did it, or him or somebody did it. The boy could never come out and tell his story. The boy is dead and gone, if you ask me. 10 years no hear from. He's stinking somewhere. They might have found him when the Knicks won the championship. Whew, something over here stink. Probably was that boy. But yes, that's one video. Now we know that he told Queen's Flip from the hip hop show on YouTube. Queen's Flip, whatever. The guy that ran around used to give the homeless people food and everything and blah, blah, blah. Yes, that's not the only audio though. We got more audio work. We're finna play it right now of him saying the same thing. He said this to, I believe, some guys in LA, Murder Music Massacre or whatever. He was talking to them. They heard it. Nobody told nothing. I heard it. I told.
When Africa Bambaataa got stabbed, the next day we went to his house to see who stabbed him, and he gave me a picture of the young man that stabbed him. When I looked at the picture, the dude looked like me as a baby. Like, damn, he was a young boy. He was a baby. And I knew from there why he stabbed. Now, Bear never told the reason why the boy stabbed him, but I put two and two together. That's all I needed. And then sometime later, they called up to Hot 97 and tried to tell the story. He said that, he fell asleep and woke up with Bam giving him oral sex with his finger in his behind, and he stabbed him and he stabbed Ahmed. So, throughout some time, I've been going to certain brothers that was down with Zulu that was in position, telling them, yo, we need to pull Bam to the side and check him on some of the, on the things that I was hearing about that was still going on, but everybody kept brushing it to the side because they already knew this to be going on with Bam. So eventually, last year when the Million Man March came about, is when it just broke. I let loose and I made the video. So I made the video before Ron Savage actually came out. Everybody thought that Ron Savage came out.
No. He told a story that Ron Savage came out, then his video resurfaced. Then Star pressured him to come out. That's how things went. Maybe he did make the video before Ron Savage, but nobody knew about it. until Ron Savage came out and told this story to Star. Then Star got the video of him coming out. That's the order of things. And people that know, people that don't know.
No, I came out first. But what happened was when I made the video, certain members of the Zulu Nation reached out to me and told me, like, listen, like Muhammad Islam, for example, he created the Zulu Warriors and he was employing up to 120 people on security jobs. So he was like, if you do this, you're going to destroy us. And I was a part of them. So I said, you know what? I want it to go away anyway. It's embarrassing. So I'm going to take the video down. Then out of nowhere, Ron Savage pops up and he just got into, got on them, and my video popped up at the same time, the one that I took down. So somebody actually saved it to their computer. And from there on, it was like, you know what? I guess it was part of God's plan.
So that's how that happened. I correct that because people have been out here lying forever and misleading and misdirections, been spoken here, spoken there to lead y'all to something that's not true. In the news media, they call it false media. But here we go.
You just can't feel him like the way that you want to. But I let the world know because he's a hero.
Yeah.
You feel me like that, but I've exposed him, your whole family is out. I'm stronger than I think he is.
So what you're listening to is my conversation with Hassan Campbell before I interviewed him. I interviewed him, asked him, we talking. You're going to hear it. Asking him questions. Then I did an interview and he ran from the questions that I had asked him previous to the interview because he didn't want them out there. He didn't know that I was recording them though. This the same thing he did to Whack 100 because he was still in mind moves. Me. I can say it all day because it's all about me, not about you.
Yeah. So another playing games, huh?
Like, you ain't gonna understand this shit that I ain't tell you. But I'm still fighting on. And the reason why I'm gonna expose some shit because I'm contrary to what people say about me or what they show about me, I'm dangerous in the street. My crew is dangerous in the street. They know that. They're dangerous in the street. Certain things I dealt with because this situation, you gotta let the public know when you're dealing with a pedophile. At the same time, like I said, the nigga was like my father. Not my fucking boyfriend, my father. He raised me. I was a kid. Pretty sick.
Well, I would say Sarnetta is playing with this situation, and he's not doing a good job because he didn't even talk to Tariq Noel when he asked him to let him over and everything. He basically said, "I don't believe your story. Get the fuck out of here. You can't come over here and talk about that." So this cat is playing games with this conversation, and he ain't even been trying to deal with it more and more. He just started dealing with it now that I've been pushing it, and people been coming over here, and we, opening up the room again, I guess.
So you hear my conversation. Sarnetta wasn't fucking with this. And anybody that he brought to that conscious community on 125th Street wasn't fucking with this. Nobody was fucking with this. I reached out to Hassan Campbell in this phone call that you hear. Talk to him. Got an interview with him. And the whole world went crazy and got on his dick the next motherfucking day. And the nigga has never thanked me for doing that for him. He was a fucking nobody. He hooked up with a somebody, me, and destroyed me and became a somebody. Shit's so funny. But I appreciate him for it because he just showed me all the bitch ass niggas that I had been fucking with and didn't know I was fucking with them. Until they did the bitch ass move and ran from me. Thanks to Hassan Campbell. Thank you, Hassan.
Bullshit. And you playing around. with Dr. Joke and all types of foul niggas, but he's not trying to get back on his damn situation either. This is clear as day.
Yeah.
Somewhere down the line, he's gonna pay you off. Or somebody fucking I don't know which one. But a lot of funny shit is going on with a lot of these dudes that was acting like they was all for riding with them and they ain't riding on no more. A lot of funny shit.
Yeah. That I'm friends with it.
Before I got on the phone with you, I was dealing with a serious situation. Like, you don't even understand. Like, you just finished dealing with another shit. Like, there's so much shit going on. There's a difference between me and Ron Savage in this. I'm dealing with the real side of this shit while Ron Savage is just running around taking pictures with celebrities.
Yeah, well, look, I want to help get your story out. That's why I told you when I first called you and everything. And you see that it's moving and acting crazy just after that energy of me and you talking, and then me putting up the video you did and me talking and everything. So none of them don't never want me to have nothing to do with what's going on in the community because they
see, I'm telling the world and telling him at that time. So none of them don't want me to touch nothing. They don't want me to have nothing because they know I'm not in a fucking circle of fucking the community. Sarnetta and everybody over there in Sarnetta toughest community, and it's only tough because I was there and I made it the toughest motherfucking community you can be in, because no other community has faced a person like me to get in your ass the way I get in niggas' ass. Made it the toughest community, but all of them were saying we never want to debate or argue with that dude there. That motherfucker there is too bad. Who's bad? You know the song. But yes, that's the secret to the toughest community. Carl Albert made it the toughest community.
like all this nigga controlling the narratives and shit. So they have to bounce off of my stuff and try to, what I'm saying, put a band-aid on it. And all this is him doing that. That's how I see it. So whenever you ready, I'm ready.
The way I'm feeling tonight, I don't know if you hear all the noise around me or whatever. I'm trying to close myself off, but I go drive somewhere in my fucking car. The way I'm feeling, I don't give a fuck. That's how I'm feeling.
Well, you got to.
So with that said, I'm through with that audio. I'm through with the whole show. Please leave a comment under the show and let me know what you think about my position and how they've been trying to cut me off, but they don't have none of the info or the tea that I can spill or want to spill. And it's a shame how nobody wants to talk to me because nobody wants the truth to get out. They're afraid of the people that's lying to people. Don't want to interview me, don't want to do none of that. Layla Wheels, Leak You, Khalil Money, Troy Star Terrain, all these people go get kicking ass in these YouTube streets and telling them, don't fuck with Carl out. If you have him on this show, we're going to get in your ass. And everybody has alienated me and don't want to talk to me. People that used to be in my chat, friends, won't even fucking speak to me no more. It's a shame how weak people are, but I ain't that weak. So I may bring some more audio later on this week. But with that said, people, I'm out. Y'all have a peaceful Sabbath day. Love in Jesus' name.